Welcome back to Fox 8 News in the morning. This weekend's demonstrations and protests all across the nation were not just about the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis, but a larger conversation about race and police relations. NAACP President Danielle Snyder joining us now. She was actually there this weekend, and she joins us to talk about what happened. First of all, Danielle, thank you very much for joining us this morning. You were there, the protesting starting out the way it should, very, very peaceful. And then things got ugly. Talk about your experience. What did you actually, when did it happen? How did it unfold on Saturday?
Well, I want to just first say thank you to you and the news team for providing these platforms to get the accurate stories out. The protest did start as a very peaceful engagement, many people coming together and demonstrating that it was not just about this one singular incident with George Floyd, but about the incidences that continue to happen across the country. And unfortunately, when you have these large scale events, that means sometimes you invite in individuals who are not aligned, who do not have the same intentions, that try and come and accost these situations. So that way, the news cycle ends up being more about the melee that happens at the end of the day, rather than the unity and alignment that really began and pulled this engagement together.
We keep hearing about these outside agitators. You were there. Who were these individuals? Who do they represent?
It's really hard to identify, specifically organizations that folks represented. But I will tell you, you saw individuals with backpacks loaded with objects. There were individuals of all races, black and white, that you saw that were agitating and throwing things at officers. There were a number of protesters that were trying to keep the peace and asking folks to, again, stay focused on the task at hand, which was to bring peaceful protests to help elevate the situation that is the lack of justice in the case of George Floyd. We're looking for local justice for Desmond Franklin. We're still reeling from the fact that Tamir Rice's sister was mishandled by police. So that was the focus. And there are, again, individuals that did not appear to be those that really wanted to see that type of message move forward.
Black, were they white? Can you profile these individuals, what you saw?
From what I saw, I did personally see a number of white individuals that were throwing projectiles. And I even had a conversation with one after the protest. A few of us went over to grab lunch, and a young man who was from Brook Park lost his phone during the protest and asked us if he could use one of our devices to call and get a ride. And we were on the corner of West 25th. At the restaurant, and he mentioned, yeah, we were throwing items. And I just had a quick conversation with him and said, when you come to those type of events, if you're saying Black Lives Matter, if you're saying you want justice, when you throw objects and projectiles, I can tell you the black guy next to you is likely the one that gets profiled and arrested. And so it doesn't do us any good to have agitators or even some people who think that they're there to protest the police and, the language that they use and some of the behavior, unfortunately, is going to backfire and will have more unrest than what we deserve.
You did see diversity in the crowd of peaceful demonstrators, and that was good to see as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely. I mean, the number of white individuals that had signs that said, I stand in solidarity. I don't understand why they keep killing your sons. We need reform. All of those things. That was the intention, is to be able to demonstrate that across races, we could come together and say, we have to say things different. We need more accountability when these situations happen, and we need reform to prevent them from happening in the first place.
Danielle Snyder, the president of the Cleveland chapter of the NAACP, thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thank you, Wayne.
All right.